Hey, what's up everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is the Haves and the Have-Nots Season 6, Episode 26, and the name of this episode is The Damn Defibrillator. This was a really damn good episode, and yes, it was really good, but before I get started, let me send a special shout out to Tyler Perry for, reaching out to Jeffrey Owens. One of the latest developments this week, Jeffrey Owens was pretty much ousted by Fox News for working at Trader Joe's, which I had to go and say was probably the most disrespectful thing you can do to an honest working man. And I'm so happy that Tyler Perry reached out to him and said that, hey, won't you join one of the top shows out here, offering him a job. And I hope Jeffrey takes him up on it, because Jeffrey is a very talented actor. Definitely been a fan of his, being on the Cosby Show playing Elvin. So I'm really happy that Tyler Perry reached out to him, and you had many others like Terry Crews and Patricia Heaton from Everybody Loves Raymond. So I'm really proud that Tyler did that, because we definitely need to be there for each other, and we need to hold each other down, as a people. So I'm very proud that Tyler Perry did that, so shout out to him for that. Alright, so let me begin with this review. Okay, the episode picked up where it left off. Hannah stabbed Malik after he started getting rough with her after she put a call on her phone. So she gets away. Malik finally so pretty much Hannah runs out the house, and she's screaming and all of that, trying to get some help. Malik is stabbed up, but he eventually gets up and gets back into the van with Candace and Arcade, and they pull off. We see that Derek is actually working on this air conditioning unit with a friend of his, and eventually he hears this noise, and he figures, oh my god, it's Hannah, and he comes to Hannah's aid, and she pretty much lets him know that somebody broke into the house and all of that. So he goes in to check to see if the guy was still there, but we all know that Malik had left, but he definitely saw that, yeah, it was a break-in, and he pretty much they pretty much said call the police, and he kind of comforts Hannah because Hannah's in shock. Then we go to the hospital. Jeffrey goes to talk to the male nurse, and we find out his name is Addison. And we can definitely tell there's some chemistry between the two of them. So we can definitely see he kind of got a fancy, for the dark chocolate, honey. So they pretty much talking, and he's asking, like, his dad's in pain, he needs more meds. He's like, well, he's due to get some meds, but we have to keep him on a schedule. We just can't over medicate him. And then next thing you know, we see that the damn hospital door closed, and he's like, isn't this past visiting hours? And he was like, yeah. And he's like, did you see anybody go in there? And he said no. And next thing you know, he goes back into the damn room. That damn Veronica is in there, and he's like, get your ass out of here. I was like, damn, Jeffrey. Jeffrey was just over her and her shit. And she's like, girl, bye. And she's like, and he's like, I'm not playing with you. Get your ass out of here. And she's like, I'm not playing with you, but it seems to me you like to play with penises. Still talking her shit. And he pretty much says that, and he pretty much tells her, you're not supposed to be here. And she's like, well, what you gonna do? You gonna stab me again? I like to see you try it, because if you keep fucking with me, you're gonna be laid up in here just like him. And they go back and forth, and then she starts talking her shit to David like, you ruined my life. Both of you ruined my life. Yeah, you decided to quit me for a whore, and I want you to know that she's dead. She's dead. And then she's like, and I hope she's burning in hell. And then she looks at Jeffrey and it's like, and you're nothing but a disappointment to me. And then she starts flipping out and starts saying, then she starts taking her purse and hitting David. And she's like, don't touch him because, he has open wounds. She's like hitting him, telling him, wake up, you son of a bitch. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. And then all of a sudden, that damn Jeffrey found the defibrillator and was like, you crazy bitch, and shot the shit out of her ass. I was like, yes. Finally, Finally, you get some balls, Jeffrey. I was so here for that. Then we get a scene where Benny's at the Artesian Hotel. He's still sitting in the lobby. Mitch calls him and lets him know that, look, my family's after you. And he says, but I told you I didn't do anything. He says, yes, I know, but they already put out a hit. And we're trying to get it to we're trying to find the person to call it off, but it's already set in motion. So he pretty much says that, look, you know, can you see the guy who's doing it? Can you actually find the guy, you know, that could possibly be after you? Because he says that, yeah, I found some guys that were kind of looking after me or whatever. And he calls around or whatever, and, you know, one guy was kind of like, yeah. I mean, but you can definitely tell these two guys in the black, they definitely working for the mob because that's how they move. But Benny kind of just pays no attention to it. And then him and Mitch tells him that, look, you need to get a room. Either you get a room or stay in public. You know, do not go anywhere private because they're out to get you. And he also told him that don't go home. He let him know off the bat, don't go home, because that's exactly, that is going to play later on in the episode, and I'm going to get to it. Alright, so then we see that Veronica is now laid up in the hospital because she got shocked with the defibrillator. And Addison, the nurse, is in there along with the doctor, and they ask her what happened. She says, my son shocked me. You know, I want him arrested, and, you know, I want that son of a bitch arrested, and she's flipping the hell out, you know, and he's like, and the doctor's like, I'm sorry, but we're gonna get to the bottom of it. And she's like, call the police, you know, that son of a bitch shocked me, I want him arrested, arrest his ass. Like, she was going off. But bitch, you're the one who caused all this shit. And yet you still always playing the victim, and that is like, that's Veronica's MO. She's always the antagonist, but always plays the victim every time, yet she's the one that starts and detonates all the bullshit. So all of a sudden the doctor is like, okay, we'll call the police. Man, ain't this a weird family dynamic? Yes, it is. There's no family like the Harringtons and the Criers. Both of them are somewhat caught from the same cloth, but they got their own demons within each one. So pretty much we see that Mitch goes to the Ironbone to talk to his uncles, and his uncle was a straight up asshole. Pretty much they let him know that, look, we actually gonna have someone to get into the cell with Wyatt to handle that, you know. And Mitch is trying to plead for Benny, saying that, look, Benny's a good friend of mine, why don't you call this off? And he's like, look, you already know how it goes. We call a guy who calls a guy who calls a guy that calls a guy. So it's going to be a matter of time where we'll finally reach somebody to call off. But right now, it is what it is. But he says, but in the meantime, tell your boy to stay low. Oh, yeah, and Uncle Vinny wants him to know that his payment is up. And she's like, what? And all of a sudden, Mitch was like, look, he was coming back to give back the money. He's like, did he have interest? And he was like, no. He's like, well, then it don't fucking matter. So, and he's like, come on, man. He's a friend of mine. Won't you give the kid a break? He's like, you know that's not how we do things. You know, either he gives back the money with interest or we gonna break his damn legs. And he's like, come on. He's a good guy. And he's like, isn't he black? And he was like, but he's a good guy. And he's like, you actually like the blacks? And he was like, dude, like, he's a good dude. He's like, I never met a good guy who was black. And I'm like, oh, you racist bastard. Like, you just bold with your shit. And he just pretty much says that, he's like, look, if you don't stop your bullshit, Mitch, you know how this family runs. And if you don't stop this bullshit, you're going to end up being dead like his ass. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to go to Mama Rose with this. He's like, yeah, go to Mama Rose because she's going to school you just like I did. And probably more so. I'm like, wow, this damn Malones is a fucked up family too. So it's like you got the Malones, the Harringtons, and the damn Criers all on some crazy shit. So then we see that Jeffrey is back is still in the room with David. David pretty much, you know, is up, and come to find out David heard everything. He's like, you could have killed her. And he was like, yeah, and and Jeffrey and David's like, don't be like her. I don't want you to be like her. But she's like, and if anything, If anything, you know, I know. And she's like, she did what she did because she's angry with me. And he says that, what you mean don't be like her? I'm more like you. And besides, she's evil and she's sick. And he's like, yes, but she's still your mother. You know, then Addison comes in there and gives him some more pain medication. And he was asking about, you know, so therefore Addison starts asking, like, so, you know, what happened to Veronica Harrington? And Jeffrey was both like, I shocked the bitch. I was like, okay, Jeffrey. Jeffrey feeling himself. And he's like, dude, you could have killed her. That defibrillator is not a toy. Are you crazy? But then he lets him know, she said you did it. You know, and the thing is, I have to call the police, but I don't want to. And he's like, man, I don't care. Do what you gotta do. You can call the police. I don't give a shit. You know, and I'm like, Jeffrey, this is not a time to be admitting your shit. You need to be playing it cool because your boy's trying to give you a break, and I think it's because he got a crush on you. So you need to be smart and not be trying to get bold when you need to kind of... There's a time to put up and a time to shut up. This was a time to shut up, Jeffrey. And that's the thing about Jeffrey. Jeffrey got that ways about him, you know, where he can be just as conniving and just as treacherous as Veronica, but he don't know how to play and hold his hand at times. So he's pretty much saying that, yeah, go ahead and call. You know, tell him. You know, shit. You know, I ain't trying to... Don't risk your job for me. So I was like, that was really interesting. But it's kind of evident that Addison got a crush on Jeffrey. But Addison, you may be barking up the wrong tree because you know you got crazy ass Glenn Close, aka Derek, hot on his damn trail. And we see next week they're gonna have a run-in, so that's gonna be interesting to see. Next we see that Derek actually calls Catherine and lets her know that there's been damage to the condo in Hannah's apartment, and that Hannah was you know, there was a break-in into Hannah's apartment. So she's like, okay, I'm on my way there. She looks over there and she sees that damn Jim is sleeping in the same bed with her. She's like, Jim, what the hell you doing in here? She's like, he's like, I'm sleeping. She's like, why the hell are you in here? There's 6 other rooms in this damn place. Get the fuck out my bed. And then we see that Jim gets a call, and he gets a call from Jeffrey, and he's saying that, look, I need a guard on my father's room. And he's saying, then Jim was like, well, damn, don't you got the FBI? He's like, yeah, but they won't put a guard on the door. So he's like, okay, I'll make a call, you know. And if anything, Catherine and Jim going back and forth, and she's like, who the hell was that? And she was saying that, who the hell was that? She's like, the same person who called your ass. I got something to do. She's like, oh, so it's one of your whores, huh? You always answer to one of your whores. And he's like, yep. I always answer to one of the whores. And I'm like, Jim is just being a dick because he's mad that Catherine won't get Wyatt out of jail. So he's just there just taunting Catherine like shit. And it was crazy. So then he pretty much makes a call to to this dude Patrick, like, look, I need a favor. And then he's like, it's a damn shame. We pay all these damn taxes and the FBI won't send nobody to guard your shit. How about that? I'm like, you make a good point. So we're moving on. Then we see that Justin shows up, and he's still getting a whole bunch of disrespect from his fellow police officers. There's like, out of all the police officers that had to send your ass, he's like, look, I'm on call, and if you got a problem, I'll leave. But then we see that old boy who is there to find Benny at the house is just standing there posted, and he pretty much said that, yeah, there was a burglary at this address, and this guy has been standing here and he won't move. So Justin walks up on him like, excuse me, what are you doing and why are you here? And he just straight socks the shit out of Justin. And of course this pissed Justin off, and Justin hits him back, and it's like, oh, you want to go to jail? Huh? You want to go to jail? So he cuffs him and everything, and, you know, arrest the guy. But that was the plan, you know, find a way, you know, I think he hit, you know, the plan was to get himself arrested so he can be in the same cell with Wyatt. So we're gonna see how that's gonna play out. So then we see Candace and RK, you know, we see that the two of them are you know, are in the van, and they done drove off in the middle of nowhere, and pretty much they like, okay, what we gonna do? They Candace told RK to check his pockets, and there was a stack of money that was inside his pockets. Where he got it from, I don't know, because, and if they try to say that was the money that he owed the Malones, that's some bullshit, because the police confiscated that shit, and we saw them when they did it. So he must have got that money from somewhere. But he pretty much, you know, got that stack of money. Next thing you know, we see they get out the car. Candace rips off a piece of her skirt, gets a match from him, and they torch the damn van with Malik in there. So let's see, like, yeah, Malik's about to be burnt alive with the fucking van. And pretty much, you know, RK's like, do I get a cut? And she's like, I'll think about it. I'm like, Candace, you better stop playing, because, you know, RK is a fucking time bomb too. So that bitch can be on your side, but then that bitch will turn against you. But then again, he like Candace, so he'll go along with all the bullshit. But then she tells him that, look, I'm a survivor, you know. And she was like, does anybody knew that he was connected to me? And he was like, nah. But his baby mother knows that he was coming to work with me. So she was like, but he's like, don't worry, I got that covered. Don't worry about it. And she was like, I need to get the hell away from here, you know, I just need to move away. He's like, well, go ahead, you know, get away, and I'll hold everything down for you until you get back. And she was like, you better. I'm like, Candace is still being on some disrespectful shit. Don't even realize that, bitch, a lot of this shit you doing is gonna come back and bite you in the ass. So then we see that at Hannah's house, she's there with Derek. The police are questioning her about what happened. They pretty much says that you know, they're gonna dust the back window for fingerprints, because he came through a back window, and then they're also gonna get, you know, they're gonna find out who he is through his DNA. So I'm like, oh shit, this shit's gonna probably hit the news, and yeah, this is gonna be some crazy shit. And then she tells him that the guy was looking for her daughter, and that she owed him money and all of that. And then she's like, do you have a number for it? And it's like, yeah. And she gives them the Candace number, and she was like, okay, the guy was wearing an all-black mask, so she didn't see him. But I think, in all honesty, she actually knows who Malik is. So that's going to be interesting when she finds out who was the guy who broke in the house. But they tell her that, you know, stay out of the kitchen, and we'll be back in the morning to get more questions. Then there's a scene between Derek and Hannah. And she opens up like, I've never been scared like that ever since I was 18, when I was attacked and raped. And we see that this breaks Derek down. Derek starts crying, and he's like, I'm so sorry, you know, you didn't deserve that. And she says, nobody deserves that. But he wants you to let you know, I'm here. I want to help you carry this. You know, you don't need to be doing this by yourself. And I was like, oh, damn, Derek. Derek coming through. Like, he's really falling for Hannah for real. And, you know, and she's like, I need to call Benny. He was like, I'll call Benny. I'll talk to him for you. And she was like, no, I don't want you to do that. And she's like, don't worry, I got it covered. You know. And she's like, I also need to talk to my daughter. She says, I'll talk to her too. She's like, I don't want you talking to her either. And, you know, and she opens up about Candace, like, she keeps doing this, you know, and it's her mess. If she keeps doing this mess, she's going to get both me and Benny killed. You know, it's like she keeps doing bad things and she has no conscience. She thinks nothing is going to come back to her. And then she goes into that crap where she said God told her to stop praying. Boo-boo. God don't never tell you to stop praying, Hannah. So cut out, so you need to stop with all that bullshit. But she's pretty much says that, well, and like, even Derek was like, why would God tell you that? And she was saying that, you know, well, it just got to the point that, you know, she's just hell bound, and it's like, no matter, she's like, I know my prayers have been protecting her, but it's to the point that when I stopped praying, things got worse. Exactly. Because you're supposed to still pray for people even when they're on the bad road. You know, your prayer may actually create something where they can intervene and get on the right path. But you stopped praying for her and shit got worse. So there you go right there, Hannah. God don't like ugly. So pretty much we see that, you know, we need to pray for her, because God can change her because he changed me. And we know that Derek had a very heated past, especially Veronica knows about it, and I think that shit's gonna come back to play later on. You know, but we see that he starts praying and he's breaking down, crying, and he's saying that, please, God, come to her life, get her to repent and make it work for her, because you made it work for me. And he just starts crying and they embrace each other. And I'm like, wow. So therefore they have a moment. Then Catherine shows up to check on Hannah. And of course, you know, Derek lets her know that, yeah, I called her. And the two of them talk, and she comes to check on her. And then Hannah's like, I could pay for the window. She's like, don't worry about that. What was more important to me is that you're okay and that you're safe. That's what I'm mainly concerned about. You know, and she's like, that damn daughter of mine, she just won't get it. She's like, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, because she got a damn son that just won't get it either. Because why is a spoiled junkie motherfucker? And we definitely have seen where Wyatt's state of mind is. So that shit was crazy. But then we see that they actually have a touching moment, and that was good. Then we see that Wyatt's... Then after that, we get a scene with Wyatt, and that damn messy-ass Justin gonna put the Malone dude in the cell with him. And, you know, Wyatt is like, what, man, you said you was gonna... He's like, don't touch me. And he's like, look, you said you was gonna help me. He's like, you said you was gonna help me, Justin. He's like, don't call me by my name. I'm like, oh, so Justin really spoiling himself and shit. So I'm like, but then, like, when he was bringing the guy in the cell, one of the officers was again challenging him, oh, you called him? That's a shock. And he's like, go to hell. I was like, these damn his fellow police officers have no respect for his ass. But Justin still being the same arrogant asshole that he's always been. So he puts old boy in the cell, and he's like, oh yeah, and old boy he definitely has a penchant for violence, so maybe the two of you could get better acquainted. And Wyatt's like, come on, no, please, please just take me to another room, and we can do this. And he was like, oh, what are you willing to do? What are you gonna do for me? He's like, I told you I'd leave Jeffrey alone. He's like, I don't think that's gonna be enough. I'm gonna leave a little bit more. Like, you're not desperate enough, but you'll get there. Trust me, you'll get there. I'm like, oh, Justin, you really trying to play this bullshit? Where you gonna take him in one of those rooms and gonna try to fill him up and, try to take his man goodies and shit? I'm like, see, Justin, you playing with fire, because you fuck with Wyatt, Jeffrey gonna fucking kill your ass. I mean, miss all the bullshit I've said about Jeffrey. You fuck with Wyatt, Jeffrey gonna turn into a monster you ain't ready for, Justin. Keep on fucking around. So he just, keeps on toying with Wyatt, like, how bad you want it, huh? Yeah, you don't want it bad enough. But trust me, you'll want it bad eventually. And you'll give me what I want. And I'm like, see, that damn Justin ain't gonna be happy till somebody puts him in a motherfucking body bag. And I see that definitely happening for Justin. So we just gotta keep watching. Then we get the last scene of the episode, Benny and Mitch. Benny calls him and he's saying that, look, stay put. I'm coming to get you. And then he gets a call, and then he finally calls Candace. Candace is saying that, oh, I'm out walking and about or whatever. The bitch in the middle of nowhere, but she's still telling her lies. And Benny's like, look, I'm not here for this bullshit, Candace. Like, where the hell are you? And she's like, look, I'm out and about. You know what? He's like, I came here because I wanted to talk to you about the money. She's like, yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow or whatever. And she's like, okay, fine. But we're going to do this at mommy's house. I'm not fucking walking around here like a chicken with his head cut off trying to find your ass. So then he gets another call, and he thinks it's his mother, but it's actually Derek. So of course he talking big shit, like, what the hell you doing answering my mother's phone? What the fuck's going on? He's like, look, you need to calm down. I'm calling to let you know that there's been a break-in at the house, and she's like, how's my mom? He's like, look, she's fine. He's like, I need to talk to her. Where is she? She's like, look, she's upstairs laying down. I had to literally calm her down, you know, just to get her to relax. But he said that you need to come home. And that fool's about to up and leave. And I'm like, didn't this motherfucking Mitch told your ass not to leave? I understand that's your mama and everything. But bruh, you got a hit out on your ass. You got the mob after you. And yet, that just totally left Benny's mind. Because as soon as he leaves, we see that the two dudes that was sitting at the bar pretty much chase his ass down. They start fighting and everything. And then next thing you know, the damn guns start blasting. And that's where it ended. So we gonna see if Benny gets hit or not. But yeah. But Benny was roughing them up though. They got him real good. But Benny was holding his own though. So Benny can fight. I had to give him that. Benny was fighting for his motherfucking life. And it was everything. But that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of the Haves and Have-Nots. So, what I'm about to do now is about to check out the Bobby Brown story. So, you know, definitely be checking out for that video because I will be reviewing both episodes. Both parts, part 1 and part 2. So definitely check out for my review of the Bobby Brown story. So until next time, everybody, take care.